Imagine waking up in a city that is over 2,000 years old, in the heart of the Roman Empire. The sun rises over crowded streets where people are already moving about, starting their day. As a modern person, stepping into this world would feel strange and overwhelming. But today, we will gently explore what life was like in ancient Rome and why you might struggle to survive even a single week. Close your eyes and imagine walking softly on cobbled streets, the smell of the city in the morning air, and the sounds of a city unlike anything we know today. The first thing you would notice is the crowd. Rome was home to over 1 million people at its peak. Streets were narrow, noisy, and filled with vendors, carts, and pedestrians. Unlike today, there were no cars to give you personal space. Everyone moved together, sharing the space, the smells, and the heat. You would need patience and calm to navigate even a short distance. Simple walking from one place to another could be tiring and confusing. The markets were alive with activity. Traders called out, displaying fruits, bread, fish, and meats. Food was abundant, yet very different from what we are used to. Imagine walking past stalls of fish without ice, vegetables that wilted in the sun, and bread baked in communal ovens. You might feel uncertain about what was safe to eat, as modern refrigeration and hygiene did not exist. Public fountains provided water, but it was not treated the way it is today. Even brushing your teeth with clean water was not guaranteed. The concept of sanitation, as we know it, simply did not exist. The Roman diet itself would challenge modern habits. Breakfast was light, often bread with cheese or olives. Lunch was quick and sometimes meatless. Dinner, or cena, was more elaborate for those who could afford it, with multiple dishes and wine diluted with water. You would notice that meals were communal. Eating alone was rare, and social interaction at the table was expected. Eating styles were different, sometimes using hands instead of utensils. Working in Rome would be another adjustment. Many people worked long hours under the sun or in cramped spaces. Labor was physically demanding, from tending animals to crafting goods in workshops. Social rank defined expectations. If you were free, you might work in trade or craft. Slaves and lower-class citizens worked relentlessly. Gender roles were strict, and women's daily lives were limited by societal rules. Clothing was heavy and layered, sometimes uncomfortable in the heat. Even in moments of rest, life would feel different. Romans slept in small apartments called insulae, often with multiple families, sharing walls and courtyards. Privacy was minimal. Nights were noisy, and street life sometimes continued well after dark. Imagine trying to rest in a city with so much activity, without the quiet and insulation we take for granted today. Health and medicine would challenge you further. Roman doctors were skilled for their time, but their understanding was limited. Herbal remedies and basic surgeries existed, but germs were unknown. Diseases spread easily in crowded neighborhoods. Simple illnesses could feel alarming if you were accustomed to modern medicine. Yet communities relied on healers, midwives, and public baths to maintain some level of health and hygiene. Public baths were a central part of Roman life. They were places of relaxation, socialization, and even exercise. However, bathing customs would feel unusual. Large pools, steam rooms, and shared spaces might overwhelm someone used to private showers. Bathing was a ritual, often performed daily, but shared with dozens or hundreds of people. Even travel within the city could be exhausting. Streets were full of pedestrians, carts, and animals. Roads were uneven, and walking long distances was normal. Horses and carriages were for the wealthy, and even then, conditions were less comfortable than modern vehicles. You would need endurance and caution just to move safely. By now, you might begin to understand why a modern person would find it difficult to survive even a week in ancient Rome. Every aspect of life required adaptation: crowded streets, unfamiliar food, intense labor, minimal privacy, and constant vigilance. But there is also a gentle wonder in this world. The ingenuity of Roman aqueducts, roads, and buildings shows a society that thrived despite challenges. Public entertainment, theaters, and marketplaces created life and culture. And for those who belonged to the city, routines offered comfort and stability. You would need time and patience to appreciate it fully. As the night settles over ancient Rome, torches flicker along the streets. Shadows stretch across walls made of stone and brick, and the city slowly shifts from work to rest. But even now, the sounds continue. Soft footsteps, quiet conversations, the distant movement of animals being brought in for the night. Rome does not fall silent. It only softens. You walk through a dimly lit forum, where statues loom like silent guardians of the past. Marble glows faintly under the remaining light. Temples, columns, and arches stand tall, echoing the strength of a civilization that shaped the world. For a moment, you feel small in the presence of structures built with such ambition and precision, all without the technology we depend on. As you move along, you begin to understand something deeper. Survival in ancient Rome isn't just about physical endurance. It's about accepting a completely different way of life. One where community replaces privacy, where daily comfort is earned, not guaranteed, and where the pace of life is set by the rhythms of nature, labor, and tradition. Imagine trying to live without electricity. No lights to guide you in the dark. No screens, no messages, no devices. Only the warm glow of oil lamps, the sound of the night, and your own thoughts. For many today, that silence would feel unfamiliar, maybe even unsettling. But here, it is simply life. Simple, steady, and unchanged for centuries. You continue your slow walk, feeling the rough stones beneath your feet. As you reach a residential street, you look up at the tall insulated apartments. Most families are settling in for the night, preparing simple meals, sharing stories, or sitting by an oil lamp. Inside, rooms are small, beds are basic, and the warmth of the day still lingers in the air. The walls are thin. You hear conversations from the next room, children laughing, someone singing softly. Life is lived in connection, not isolation. You realize how different this is from the quiet, closed spaces of modern homes. Here, you are never truly alone. You imagine lying down in one of these rooms. The night breeze enters through a small window. The sounds of the street fade, but never disappear. The mattress is simple, the linens rougher than what you're used to. Sleep comes slowly, gently, accompanied by the feeling of a city breathing around you. The next morning, Rome awakens early once again. The sun rises over rooftops, the markets begin to stir, and the same rhythm repeats itself. Life is built on routine, on hard work, on community. A modern person would struggle with the constant movement. They would feel the pressure of heat, the limits of ancient hygiene, the absence of privacy, the demands of physical labor, and the unpredictability of health and comfort. Surviving even a week here requires resilience, patience, and acceptance of ancient rhythms. But standing in the middle of this ancient world, listening to the echoes of voices, footsteps, and daily life, something becomes clear. Rome was not built for ease. It was built for strength, continuity, and community. And that perhaps is its greatest beauty. You take one last walk through a quiet courtyard where vines grow along the walls and a small fountain trickles peacefully. You imagine the many generations who lived in this place: families, workers, children, elders, each navigating life without the tools and comforts we depend on today. You realize that while you might not survive a week in ancient Rome, the people who lived here thrived. They adapted, they endured, they created systems that lasted centuries and shaped the world we know now. And for this brief moment, as you breathe slowly and let the image settle in your mind, you feel connected to their story. Their world becomes a gentle dream, one filled with warm evening light, soft voices, shared meals, and the simple sound of sandals on stone. Let that world stay with you as you drift into rest. Let the ancient city become a backdrop to your thoughts. Let the rhythm of history soothe your mind. You are safe. You are calm. You are returning slowly to your own world, your own time, your own quiet space. But Rome stays with you, softly, like a distant memory of a place you once visited in a dream. A place full of life, full of history, full of lessons about strength, community, and the beauty of endurance. Close your eyes now. Breathe gently. Let the ancient world fade into stillness and allow yourself to rest.